Good morning, everyone. My name is Anshita Ragwanshi, Senior Assistant Professor, BBD University, Lucknow. Today, I am going to introduce everyone about technology transfer. What is technology transfer? Transfer of technology is defined as a logical procedure that controls the transfer of any process together with its documentation and professional expertise between developments or between manufacturer sites. So we can say simply in pharmaceutical industry, technology transfer includes transferring products and process knowledge between development and manufacturing. And it also includes like moving the manufacturing scale or drug life cycle from one phase to another. Each phase can result in changes in equipments or in a process or in documentation or in filing, any criteria, anything regarding process or development or research which we are doing. If we transfer between manufacturing site or between development process, it is known as technology transfer. Next, technology transfer is both integral and critical to the drug discovery and development process for new medical products. Technology transfer is useful to develop doses form in various phases as it provides efficiency in process, maintains quality of product, helps to achieve standardized process, which facilitates cost effective production. It is the process by which an original innovator of technology makes a technology available to commercial partner that will exploit the technology. Like we can say, like suppose I have a small scale industry and I work in a small scale lab, and I have developed a technology which I want to commercialize it or which I want to uh, perform better or by which we can do good manufacturing. So, and we don't have facility to in we don't have facility to implement that technology. So, with legal documentation and legal method, we transfer the technology to another lab or another industry where it can be explored to the uh, public or explored to the people and where we can develop it. So, coming on to the next slide, in pharmaceutical. In pharmaceutical industry, technology transfer refers to the process of successful progress from drug discovery to product development, clinical trial, and ultimately full-scale commercialization. Technology transfer is important for such researchers to materialize on a larger scale for commercialization, especially in case of developing products. Technology transfer also includes not only patentable aspects of production, but also includes the business process such as knowledge and skills. Next is facts of technology transfer. The transfer of technology could happen in following ways, like government labs to private sector firm. For example, we can say that the transfer of technology is done from government labs to private sector. Like if any government labs have discovered any technology and now we want to implement it, so we can transfer it into industry firms like private sectors include industries and labs where we implement the technology or where we develop it, where we implement the research which we have done and developed our technology to give the result between private sector firms of same country, between private sector of firms of different country. Like we have developed a technology in India and labs of India, and we are implementing it or we have transferred it into the industries which are in India. Okay, or between India or con- uh, like America, Europe, we are transferring our technology from our lab, Indian labs to foreign countries, or we are getting it from foreign country to India in our country. Next, we can transfer the technology between academia to private sector, like research scholars, PhD students, anyone which anybody has discovered any technology while studying or while doing research in academic area, or any professor has done any research. Anyone in academic area can develop a technology, and we can transfer it to a private sector or firm for its further implementation or development, or giving it a final result. According to WHO, there are some methods of technology transfer or guidelines given by WHO how we can transfer a technology from one sector to another. Like these, or what is technology transfer according to WHO guidelines? These guiding principles in transfer of technology are intended to serve as a framework which can be applied in a flexible manner rather than a strict, rigid guidance, or focus has been placed on quality aspects in line with WHO's mandate. Number one is transfer of process to an alternative site occurs at some stage in the life cycle of most products, from development, scale up, manufacturing, production, and launch to the post approval phase. These guiding principles on transfer of technology are intended to serve as a framework which can be applied in a flexible manner rather than as strict, rigid guidance. Focus has been placed on the quality aspects in line with WHO's mandate. Next, transfer of technology is defined as a logical procedure that controls the transfer of any process together with its documentation and professional expertise between development and manufacture, or between manufacture sites. It is a systematic procedure that is followed in order to pass the documented knowledge and experience gained during development and or commercialization to an appropriate, responsible, and authorized party. Literature searches reveal little information on the subject, originating from national or regional regulatory bodies. Guidance on an intra-company transfer was prepared by International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering. The overchanging business strategies of pharmaceutical companies increasingly involve intra and intercompany transfer of technology for reasons such as the need of additional capacity, relocation of operation, or consolidation and mergers. The WHO Expert Committee on Specification of Pharmaceutical Preparation therefore recommended in its 42nd report, and WHO addressed this issue through preparation of WHO guidelines on this matter. Transfer of technology required a documented, planned approach using trained and knowledgeable person working with a quality system with documentation of data covering all aspects of development, production, and quality control. Usually, there is a sending unit and a receiving unit, and the unit managing the process, which may or may not be a separate entity. Here, it is said that there is an intercompany or intra-company transfer. Like technology can be transferred between a same company or from one company to another company. When it is in same unit, then it is known as intercompany transfer. And when it is from one company to another, or like one lab to another authority, then it is intra-company transfer. And this transfer is being done. We cannot simply transfer a technology from one place to another. It requires a legal documentation and an expertise committee. People who are experienced, who are specialized in transfer of technology, who are managing quality and all, are responsible for technology transfer. Proper guide documentation is done. One record is maintained of transfer of technology. So, like transfer of technology is done between two units, as I have said. Like one is the unit which is transferring the technology. The unit which is transferring a technology is known as sending unit, and the unit which is receiving the technology, where the technology is being transferred, is known as receiving unit. Both are separate entities, and in both the places proper documentation is done. Proper document, for example, if I am sending a technology or I am transferring a technology from my lab to another company or a private sector, I will maintain my separate documentation, and each and documentation for each and every process is being maintained in sending unit. And whereas the same documentation or their documentation of receiving the technology is being maintained in receiving unit. For successful transfer, the following general principle and requirements should be met. Number one is the project plan should encompass the quality aspects of project and be based upon the principles of quality risk management. The capabilities of sending unit and receiving unit should be similar but not necessarily identical, and facilities and equipment should be operate according to similar operating principle. A comprehensive technical gap analysis between the sending unit and receiving unit include technical risk assessment, and potential regulatory gap should be performed as needed. Next, adequately trained staff should be available or should be trained at receiving unit. Regulatory requirements in the countries of sending unit and receiving unit, and in any country where the product is intended to be supplied, should be taken into account and interpreted consistently throughout any transfer program project, and there should be an effective process and product knowledge transfer. Technology transfer can be considered successful if there is a documented evidence that receiving unit can routinely reproduce the transferred product, process, or method against a predefined set of specification as agreed with the sending unit. Next, in the event that receiving unit identifies particular problem with the process during the transfer, the receiving unit should communicate them back to the sending unit to ensure continuing knowledge management. Technology transfer projects, particularly those between different companies, have legal and economic implications. If such issues, which may include intellectual property rights, royalty, pricing, conflicts of interest, and confidentiality, are expected to impact on open communication of technical matter in any way, they should be addressed before, during planning and execution of the transfer. Any lack of transparency may lead to ineffective transfer of technology. Like, we should maintain the transparency, the sending unit and receiving unit, from where the technology is being transferred and to where the technology is being transferred should be transparent. They should already work before, like they should be loyal to sending unit, that they will not disclose the technology until unless their permission is given, or the legal conflicts, or any, if there is any conflict, then it should be cleared before transfer of technology, or it should be given in written agreement. Pricing or any intellectual property rights should also be discussed before transferring the technology. Next, some of the responsibility outlined in this document for the sending unit may also be considered to be the part of management unit responsibilities. WHO guideline address the following areas, like transfer of development and production in processing, packaging, and cleaning. Next, transfer of analytical methods for quality assurance and quality control. Skill assessment and training. Next, organization and management of the transfer. Next, assessment of premises and equipment. Next is documentation and qualification and validation. So here we can say that, like it is said that WHO addressed the following areas where the technology is being transferred, like the technology transfer in processing, or in packaging of any, like I have developed a new technology for packaging, so I can transfer it to a private sector. Or cleaning method, various cleaning methods are implemented in pharma sector for cleaning of equipments, for cleaning of machineries. If I have developed a new technology and I want to transfer it in to industry, so the specific documentation will be required. So this area is covered in technology transfer, processing, packaging, and cleaning. Next, the methods of quality assurance and control can also be transferred. Skill assessment and training. In skill assessment and training, proper training should be given to receiving unit or where the technology is being transferred, at how I have developed the technology, how I have worked on the technology, and how the receiving unit should implement the technology while working. Organization and management of transfer is properly studied. Then assessment of premises and equipment where we are transferring the technology, that sector, what is the type of premises, what is the area of premises, can our technology be, if I am transferring my technology, will it work in that premises, is it suitable for that premises, and equipments which is being used for developing the technology, or uh, I have used in my technology, and now which I am transferring, the equipments present there is proper and authentic. Then documentation and qualification and validation. These are very important documents which should be maintained. And because if we will not have proper documentation, there is no use of technology transfer. No proper authentic record of transfer of technology or development will be maintained. So proper documentation is required. The instruments and the technology and the process which we are using is properly qualified and validated. Thank you for your valuable cooperation.